Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 219. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com / Rated G for Gamers. For as little as $1, you can help support us. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all your love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Well, Dan, some of the fans may know. The people who subscribe to the Rated G for Gamers feed, and if you're not, please do, because we put out amazing content week after week, and we would love for you to hear it. We have a brand new show. Got a brand new podcast that we did on Saturday. That was fantastic. We posted it up. Saturday Morning Retro. It's a new thing that we're doing. I thought it was really good. It was nice to get into some of the old backlog, right?
Listen, it's a show that gives us an excuse to play or everything in our backlog, our old games in our collection. Right?
It feels good. You get to scour the shelves, find something good or maybe not good. Who knows? You know, you got to take it for a spin, see how it is, and then we talk about it.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll get Dave to actually play Fable and love it. But who knows? Well, I won't hold my breath.
I've played Fable. It is. I will go back and play it again. I would 100% do that.
A fresh new set of eyes.
I mean, I don't know. I probably have to play it on the 360 with backwards compatibility, if that's even a thing.
I think all the Fable games are backwards compatible on Xbox.
Yeah. Even on the Xbox One, does it go back?
I think on Xbox One X is backwards compatible.
All right, maybe
you got to try it.
Maybe.
But so we thought it'd be fitting, since we have Saturday Morning Retro, we talk about retro games, that when we talk about our game pickups, we're going to do it there. We're not going to do it in this show anymore. We're going to transition that to Saturday Morning Retro. So
it just kind of makes sense. It gives us a little bit more time to get into the games, kind of talk about them a little bit. So we felt it was the right venue for that.
And I have a crap load of pickups I want to talk about.
They're piling up, man.
They are piling up. I got a bunch of retro stuff I picked up.
Nice.
Nice.
So
how's your weekend going, Dave?
Oh, well, I was just gonna say I've not been picking up video games specifically because I needed to redo my PC setup. It was a little bit time for that.
A PC master race over here. Okay.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's fantastic. I'm looking at the tower right now, and immediately after we do this show, I'm gonna make the transition into the new case, which technically is the same exact case, but it is brand shiny new. There were some parts that kind of broke off on this old one. So, and then it gives me a chance to kind of redo all the wiring and really kind of organize some stuff better. I got some nice RGB lighting in there. It's going to be nice, man. If we ever get to go out again, I'll show you all the bells and whistles.
We're both building a PC. Okay, I didn't get the case yet. I didn't get the graphics card yet.
We're working on it.
I didn't get the hard drive yet. I didn't get any of the wires. I didn't get any of the LED. I didn't get any liquid cooling system. I got a monitor.
Yeah. Well, you did hit me up and you said, "Hey, Dave, I need some help I want to buy a new system. So
I want to get into Steam. I want to do this Steam thing that I keep hearing about. This new kid on the block. I want to hit the Steam.
New kid as of 16 years ago.
Well,
but that's okay. That's okay.
I just moved in the neighborhood. I want to know the kids.
Well, welcome. We welcome you with open arms. So
I want to play this Steam thing I keep hearing about.
I'm gonna give you some options. I'm gonna give you the laptop option, and I'm gonna give you if we build a custom thing, which obviously I'll help you put it all together. Here's what the price would be for those, and then we can kind of hash it out. But you will have a very comparable game that will be able to crush PC games for sure.
I need to get a vintage, like old school computer. The computer that I actually know, because I had like an old Macintosh and an old leading edge. Because I got a bunch of.
You want an old 486, right?
I found a bunch of old floppy disks. I found a bunch of games on floppy disk. They're just gonna sit there. I'll never be able to play them.
Well, I tell you, the best thing to do is to emulate. Right? You can find them online. And then you just run like DOSBox, which is like the old school DOS emulator, and it brings everything down to the right speed, so it's not like crazy insanely fast. And yeah, man, we can make that happen too. We'll make a day out of it. But that's that's for when things get better. Things are not so great with the zombies outside.
Well, I listen. I've had pretty much a low-key weekend. Actually been working more so than anything, but it's really nice outside.
It is very nice outside.
It's really nice outside. It's so nice that I had to go to Home Depot with my uncle to pick up something for his house, because he had like sort of a little accident that the tree fell over, and we had to sort of fix all of that up. And I ended up buying patio furniture for my backyard because it was on sale.
Hey, well, why not? Why not? Because nobody's out buying anything. I'm sure there's tons of good deals.
Yeah, but the line at Home Depot was crazy long. And the line in Home Depot was crazy long. But good thing Home Depot had like good, ventilation. It was nice and cool inside.
Yeah, got those nice high ceilings, right? It's like a giant icebox in there.
But I have hope. We drove past the GameStop, and I saw somebody inside.
Really?
I think they're a worker, and if I'm not mistaken, I think if you're at certain GameStops, you can go to the store and do in-store pickup. I'm not sure.
Well, front door pickup, I think, right? They're not gonna let you in.
No, yeah. Well, I guess they would have to let you in to pay for it. And that's it.
They could take your card and bring it back out. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how that would work. Yeah. I guess you'd have to be inside to make that payment.
Well, when all this happened, I told you that when I went to Best Buy to get Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, they asked you what you wanted outside. They wanted to check to see if they had it in stock, and if they had it in stock, they told you can come in. You have 5 minutes. That's it, to get in and pay, get out. So there's no browsing. You have to know what you want. So I thought that was awesome. And I said from the beginning, I said GameStop should do the same thing if that's the case. If they're gonna stay open.
Right.
So.
Right.
But actually, fun enough, and this is not a total coincidence. Okay. When we were talking about Saturday Morning Retro, I was thinking about playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh my god.
Okay. That was one of the games I thought. Yeah, it's one of the things I thought about. And then I saw recently that Mike Tyson, apparently he has his own cannabis company.
Oh, really? That's surprising and not surprising at the same time.
They have like a computer division in his cannabis licensing company, right? And he wants to make Mike Tyson's Punch Out the sequel.
Oh my god.
He says they're doing it. I don't necessarily think it will be called Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but I think they're going to make a
I don't think it can. Yeah, I don't think it can. So it's weird, right? So Nintendo had the Punch Out franchise in 2 games in the arcade before Mike Tyson got involved. They had a no. So when they had the home port, they're like, let's get a superstar. Let's get the biggest name in boxing to be our superstar in this home conversion port, right? And Mike Tyson turned out to be the last boss, as opposed to like Super Macho Man or Sandman or whatever, right? Like they had in the two arcade versions, and they were like high up there. But no, Mike Tyson was the final boss. He was a licensed entity, right? He licensed his name over by Don King or whatever, set all that up. And then, he had his troubles, and then they had to take him out of the game. So they re-released the game as just Punch-Out. And you played Mr. Dream.
Well, they own the Punch-Out series, right?
Also, there's
that's
that
them.
too. Yeah, they own all the characters and everything else except for Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, I know he wants to make another Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but he's probably just going to have to call it Mike Tyson's, Punch or something.
Yeah.
I mean, he's making a comeback anyway. He's on Twitter. Look like he's training. He's like in his in his 50s.
I'm sure he could still crush. I'm sure he could still crush heavyweight boxers.
Yeah,
man's a beast.
So I mean, he looks awesome. Funny, Evander Holyfield said he would fight Mike Tyson. He can get back into shape himself, and they can have a rematch.
Wow, we'd be like a senior division, right?
Yeah.
Heavyweight senior. Oh my god, I would pay to see that.
Put it on HBO.
Put it on HBO.
Yeah, put it on HBO. I don't know if I would pay. I don't know if I would pay to see that.
Well, I mean, why not?
Let's put it on HBO.
Why not, man?
My biggest takeaway from this is Nintendo. Bring back Punch-Out, right? Like do a crossover with Punch-Out, and and then you could put special characters in there like Springman from Arms. You could put Arms and Punch-Out together.
Yeah, I mean, they had Donkey Kong as a hidden character in the last one, so the crossover potential is high, and they have done it before. But that was 2009. That was 11 years ago. It came out on the Wii. It was even before the Wii U, and it was perfect. They didn't force you to use motion controls, but you could, right? And it was amazing. It was such a good game.
And look, we got the Joy-Cons, right? And remember when we had the Nintendo Switch preview event in the city?
Yep.
And we played Arms.
We were playing Arms, yeah.
Right, and we were using the Joy-Cons. You could do the same thing with Punch-Out. Listen, this is just this is just missed opportunity by Nintendo.
Right.
I'm giving you all the advice for free. Just give me the game for free. That's all.
And if you're saying to yourself, like, well, isn't Arms a boxing game? It's like, it's boxing-like, but you can certainly have the two games be in the same space, right? Punch-Out's really about pattern recognition and kind of learning all the ins and outs and when to do what, right? That's kind of really what that is, right? Once you learn the pattern, then you mastered the game, and it's technically always the same.
Well,
right?
Arms, you can jump around and move around, right, in this 3D space. I mean, I don't know if you would do that sort of in a boxing ring, right, where he's still in front of you. I don't know if you want to have it where you're moving around that much, but I could be wrong. They could make it work. And you have to be up in close proximity where Arms, obviously I'm punching you from like far away, and I got all these weapons on my arms, right? I'm just swapping out different arms. So I think it could be totally different, right? It could be different. I mean, not to mention we got Arms and we got Smash Brothers, right? Two sort of fighting games that they're coming together, right? They're putting Arms characters in Smash Brothers. So Punch-Out can definitely work.
That's right.
So also, funny enough, I was watching I was looking at WB Games on Twitter, and they're like announcing they're gonna have like an announcement or showcase to show off the studio, and I'm assuming it's showing the devs and express how much they love games, and if they're gonna have sort of a Batman teaser. I'm over it. I'm over it. Just show me the game.
Dan's
just
done.
Show me the game.
He's out. Dan's
I'm done. I'm done.
All right.
Just show me the game.
All right.
Just show me the game.
I'm done. Quarantine crazy over here, but all right.
This is we're in May, right? They've been teasing this since last year. Teases are over. This is E3 season. That means just release the info. Show me what a next gen Batman game is gonna look like.
Listen. You're just like Tom Cruise in whatchamacallit, Jerry Maguire, right? Show me the cow. Show me the cow.
Just show me Batman. Just show me Batman.
Show
just
me
Batman.
Who's coming with me? Scarecrow, you. Scarecrow, come on. And then nobody ends up coming with you.
So Dave,
I'll come with you, Dan. I'll come with you.
So Dave, I want you to come with me this way, as we always try to start the show, but Epic perfectly fair. What have you been playing?
Oh, caught me for a loop right there. All right, I'll take it. I will come with you on that journey, and I will let you know that I have been doing some Gears 5 multiplayer. It's kind of a thing. We've been doing it, a bunch of us, on Thursday night. I get my butt handed to me thoroughly every single time, but I get in there.
Are you guys playing like horde mode or that? What was that new mode where it's like you got to set the bomb? And
Oh,
you gotta leave?
extraction. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't do escape or extraction. We don't do horde because horde is max 5 people. Horde is great. I love horde. But we usually have a spillover. So we'll just do teams, which it's 10 total. I think 5 on each side is the max. Maybe 6. You can maybe do 6, and then sometimes we'll like fill in the bots for the rest of the spots, and then we just kind of end up doing that. I would like love to do horde, but we typically have more than 5, which makes it a little bit of an issue.
Oh, okay.
And you're gonna hate me a little bit.
Oh my god, I hate you.
You're gonna hate me a little bit, but I know because you said you got it for the PS4, and I was like, all right, I'll get the PS4, so we can go ahead and play online because we knew we would definitely play this together. But my other friend Joe, friend of the show, Joe, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it too. I'm like, we'll get it for the PlayStation, so then like we can all play. And he's like, I think I'm gonna get it for the Switch. I'm like, God damn it. So I'm like, all right, like I really want to play it. We both got the physical, so that it's not coming till sometime this month, I think.
Probably not gonna get it until next month.
Yeah, I mean, it may not even come till June, so who knows? So I was like, all right, I'll get it on the Switch. Now I can play it on the go portably. It is on the Dave scale. It is fantastic, Dan. You are gonna have such a good time with it.
You're right. God damn it, Joe. Yeah, you're right. I hate you. You brought
because
it
if you got it for the
Switch.
PS4, I would be like, all right, you get it for the PS4, and then we'll do the multiplayer when we both get the game, and then we can all play that way. But
God damn it, Joe! You know what?
His rationale was his rationale was he only has one PS4 controller, and it does do 4-player local co-op, which is like kind of cool.
Okay, so we all bring our controllers over.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we can end up all going out again too, which is a whole nother thing too. So, look, it is what it is. We will definitely play this again because the game is so good. So, if you want to get in on this action, pick it up for the Switch, and we will do some 3-player co-op.
I am definitely not picking it up on the Switch, just out of spite. Damn it, Joe! God damn it!
All right.
Yo,
hey,
Joe.
Man. Hey, man. You bought games. You bought games more than once before.
I try not to make it a habit so I can expand my collection.
Well, you still are, because you have, because you have Streets of Rage for Switch and for PlayStation. That counts as 2 entries. So
technically, it does. It does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It does. But it's the same game. I mean, look at.
I'm aware of that, but
still look at Double Dragon, right? Double Dragon. When we bought Double Dragon. Oh, was it Double Dragon 5, right?
4.
The official Double Dragon 4.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have a physical release, so I bought it. I bought it digitally on the PS. Yeah, I bought it digitally on the. No, I bought it digitally on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had a physical release, so I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, I might as well just buy it on the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, that's one of those limited run bait and switches, right? It comes out first, and then limited run gets it and puts out a physical, and I gotta have the physical.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's the only reason why I have the digital and the physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of you're right. I mean, so I've been playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the first one, on the PSP.
Oh, nice.
And because I wanted the strategy guide to go with it, because we're going to talk about it on Saturday morning, next episode of Saturday Morning Retro.
That's right.
I ended up getting a great deal online where I got the strategy guide that came out with it at that same time, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance for the Wii, all for $7.
Nice.
So I thought that was a great deal where, a lot of places were selling just the Wii version itself for like $10. Mm-hmm. So the case is a little scratched up. Don't care. He said he's tested it and it works. The strategy guide is in pretty good condition. It doesn't, it's not ripped. It's just, a little wear and tear. So I got both the same games. I got the game for a different console. So
nice.
But I do have a slight gamer grief.
We got a gamer grief.
It's a slight gamer grief.
All right, lay it down, Dan. Tell me what's bothering you.
I tried to play Darkwing Duck on the Xbox One for the Disney Afternoon Collection.
Uh-huh.
I know Angry Video Game Nerd made an episode about it.
Well, that was the Sega CD version, I think.
No, it was the NES version, and he did play the TurboGrafx version.
Oh, the TurboGrafx,
and then he played the Game Boy version.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he really shitted on this game. I mean, literally shitted on this game. I wonder what he uses in his shows when he actually has shit. He tries to put a pile of shit on things.
Oh, it's definitely chocolate pudding.
Oh, a microwave Mars bar or something,
or maybe that too. Yeah.
This game is unplayable. Even with the rewind feature, this game is like unplayable. I'm like,
is that bad, huh? Is that bad?
It's like Super Ghouls and Ghosts with bad mechanics.
Wow.
I mean, you like when you're trying to jump on a platform, just the platforming is atrocious, right? I can't get precise jumps. The hit detection is ridiculous, and there'll be 1,000 enemies on screen, and I'm like, realistically, with like 3 hits to die, how am I supposed to get past this when I'm shooting the enemy and it's not killing them? How is this supposed to work? I just don't understand.
I don't know.
It's just unplayable.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Capcom. Capcom's an amazing company who made amazing games, but sometimes they put out a dud, and I think this is one of those times.
So yeah, that's like interesting because they've had like hit after hit, like Little Mermaid, great. Chippendales Rescue Rangers 1 and 2, great. DuckTales 1 and 2, great. Tailspin, good. And then Darkwing Duck, like, not so much.
I think the Game Boy version is like the version to play if you have to play a Darkwing. Don't play the TurboGrafx game either. I mean, I have that.
No, that one's
game's
trash,
terrible. That game's
that
terrible.
One's trash. Mm-hmm.
It's also a terrible game.
Yeah.
So, all right, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week.
This is Justin from the Lit Gaming Arena podcast, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers.
And we're back. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. We have to start with our lead story, and that is people wanted to see gameplay, right? They were so disappointed in the Microsoft showcase, well, inside Xbox, because we got to see barely enough gameplay of next gen from third parties.
Yeah,
right?
It was very, very, very stylized. I mean, it was target rendering, and like it kind of almost looked like gameplay, but yeah.
But we actually got to see next gen gameplay. Oh, what will be next gen gameplay in the future? Because Epic released a tech demo of sort of. I mean, it wasn't an actual game. It was just something they spliced together. But it was running. They made sure to let everybody know it was running with PS5 code on a PS5 dev kit.
Well, yeah. So it's the Unreal 5 engine demo, right? The engine that's not even out yet. And they put this presentation together, and the whole entire thing was running on a PS5, like a stock PS5. And they made a point to say that, and it was a real-time demo because they were modifying stuff like as they were kind of going through it, which is like super interesting. But so they made this whole demo. It's this woman in a cave, in this like Egyptian cave, and she's kind of walking around, and you see all these like cool lighting effects, and the little bugs scatter around, and then she goes through a crevice, comes out the other side, and then finds an opening, and then flies up into the sky, and then she's kind of like she's flying over the ruins like super fast, and then ends up landing, does like this nice little landing thing at the end, and then that's the demo, right? So the whole thing was like, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes at least, maybe 18, 20 minutes at most. And I mean, it looked beautiful. right? And the fact that it was running on a PS5 definitely gives us hope. Some things to note about it. So the whole thing was running consistent 30 frames per second. I think it may have almost been locked at 30 frames, although I did see one or two dips, here and there. Like it kind of like hiccuped a little bit. So I don't know if you noticed that, Dan, but
I didn't notice it. Actually, I was just in awe of how beautiful it looked.
Right. Yeah, there was like a small bit, like I'm pretty sure it stuttered like a little bit for like a couple of frames, but it still looked great. It looks like it was 1440p across the board with like upsampled textures or super sampled or whatever it is, right? So they use the engine's processing to kind of like make the textures better, even though like natively it was running at 1440p. And then like two things that they wanted to highlight that were new for Unreal Engine 5 was the nanite tech and the lumen tech, right? So nanite tech is like amazingly cool because it's like they're calling it micro polygon rendering, right? A micro polygon rendering engine, right? So you can take a very complex high-res asset, right? One you would get from like a 3D asset store or whatever. You would pay X amount of dollars for this super high res asset, right? Something that was pre-built, and you're going to pop this in my game, right? And you can use that pretty much like as is, right? You don't have to make like a low poly model and then like put stuff over it to make it look like high res, right? So you can see all the like, you can see where all like the triangles are and where like the angles are, right? It's pretty obvious if you get the right angles, and they do smoke and mirrors to make it look good and kind of smooth things out. It looks like with this, you can just kind of pop in that asset, right? So they were saying that like 1 pixel equals 1 polygon. Like that's the level of detail that we were dealing with this demo, which is insane because like I don't know like how many polygons are going at once for any particular game now, but it's definitely not at that level, right? Maybe it's like 1 million polygons for like some of the main characters, right? And then for background assets and whatever else, they like scale and they're really not so crazy, but like that was kind of insane. Right. And then the other thing is the lumen tech, right? They're like light tech, which it's a real-time global illumination system, right? So it's not ray tracing. It's a little bit different, right? Ray tracing is more computationally expensive. It's very expensive to do, even though they can do it on the hardware side and this and that. We're probably not going to see a lot of games out the gate with ray tracing built in, and we're probably not going to see a lot of ray tracing overall. I would say even for the life of the system, right? It's going to be used very sporadically when they can and when they have the extra overhead to do that. This is less computationally expensive, but also gives you some amazing fidelity, right? And they had the part where like she was going through the cave and then like the cave opened up and there was that light source that came down. And then they're like, no, wait, check this out. And they started moving the sliders back and forth, which was changing the lighting and the angle of the lighting and how much like lighting, and everything was reacting in real time. So it wasn't like it wasn't baked in lighting. It wasn't a pre-rendered thing. It was all like live and just happening. So that was like super cool. All right. And that's what you get with the Unreal 5 engine, which, to be fair, isn't even like released yet. This was kind of like a behind the scenes demo to it. So
I just like after the demo, it was like Triangle Gate, right? Because they kept talking about the triangles. There are over 1 billion triangles, plus geometry on each frame. Mm-hmm. Triangles. Mm-hmm. They said that there's a lot less triangles in the world because they all used them for the demo.
Yeah. Well, they even had that thing that kind of looked like static noise, but it was to show you each and every like vertex of every polygon. That's the level of detail that the Unreal Engine 5 can do, and what the PS5 can put out in this, kind of gated demo. All right. So,
well, all right. So let's keep in mind where, this came out with Jeff Keighley, his like Summer Games Fest, right?
Yeah, this like kicked it off, which was like, way to go, Jeff. That's a good starter.
So he didn't have this plan from the get-go. This actually just came about. Like he said, I watched a Q&A he put out afterwards, and a couple of days later, and he said that just came about like a day or two prior to him showing it, right? So he said a lot of things that's going to be in his Summer Games Fest that's May through August. It will just be things that are coming up that he's still negotiating and talking to different people about bringing out. So he doesn't have a big set plan. He has certain things he wants to show, but he doesn't have a time release for them, right?
Right.
I thought this was interesting that, Epic showed their demo and made it specifically known that it was with PS5 tech, right? With PS5 code.
Yeah. That's a big flex.
This was originally supposed to be a GDC demo, right? And just think about if, the zombie apocalypse didn't happen, how we would be just maybe a little bit more hyped for the PS5, because we would have had that Mark Cerny speech that would have leaked because it wasn't for the public, right?
Yeah.
And then it would have been a playable demo, because this was playable, by the way.
Yep.
Engine demo at GDC, and we would got all the rumors, and it would have been leaks of pictures and video, just like we got leaks with the Spider-Man. This is how fast you can load Spider-Man on the PS5,
right? Yeah.
So none of these were meant to be for the public. They were meant just to be shared internally with different developers.
That's right.
This is what you can do with the engine. This is the hardware. These are the specs.
Yeah.
And we would have got a little bit more hype for the PS5. And honestly, I was thinking, and I think I changed my mind, because originally I said, why didn't they just put this out with the Mark Cerny showcase? Just have this out too.
That was very technical, and it was a lot of like, when you think about it, there's some really cool stuff there, but it's not going to wow anybody like off the bat, because it was like, it was real deep.
Well, if he would have had sort of the same conference and then had this demo show afterwards, this like, hey, these are the specs, this is what the games are going to look like, and here's a demo, and here's a demo from people would have been like, oh my god, nobody would have cared about the specs. Everybody would be like, oh my god, it looks amazing, right?
Because your proof is in the pudding, right? It's not a real game, but it is running on that hardware, so the potential for that.
And if you really wanted to spice it up, just tell them to put Nathan Drake in there so people can imagine playing the next Uncharted. Because that was kind of like an Uncharted type demo, right?
Sure. She had some superhuman powers, but it was very kind of like running through some ruins. Like I could see old Nate going on a journey.
That would have blown people's minds, because yes, they would have said the spec talk was boring. But oh my god, look at what the next Uncharted's going to look like. Now, there's some good and bad to that. The good would be the hype for the machine. The bad would be, Uncharted better look like that.
Well, you have to couch the presentation in a particular light, right? You have to say, like, look, this is just a tech demo. This is, potential for what it can do. This is on the unreleased Unreal Engine 5, which will be coming out soon. So it's like, here's what the future has in store, right?
And this is the distant future, to be honest. The engine is not going to be released until at some point, probably mid next year. So that means they're not going to be able to start making games for it until mid next year. So we're looking at 2023 at the earliest, where we would see a game that probably resembles something like this, because it'll be
right. Right.
So this is the end of the life cycle for next gen. And just as a side note, I know this was sort of branded PS5, but this is Unreal Engine 5 that will be running on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So games theoretically would look like this on both consoles.
Yeah. So like Unreal was owned by Epic, right? Epic has some properties. Epic has, they sold off Gears to the Coalition, which is now owned by Microsoft. But they do have Fortnite. They do have the Unreal franchise, which they have not put out a game for that in a while. And I'm pretty sure,
just as a side note, Fortnite confirmed day
Yeah.
day one PS5
For
and
the
Xbox
PS5?
Series.
I would hope so. Jesus, it's probably just the PS4 version, just like backwards compatible. But yeah, like you could totally make a super high res version of Fortnite or a new Unreal game. Obviously, Epic would have a leg up because they can just make it available to their internal games division, right? And go like, here, like and then like debuting on Unreal Engine 5 is this game. So any like third party studio is obviously going to be a little bit later to the party in that case. Like if that's something that they wanted to do, which I think they should. But yeah, we're looking at minimum games end of 2021, maybe 2022. So it's a little ways off.
Oh no way. No way. They're not going to get their hand. I'm saying they're not going to get people are not going to be able to get their hands on the engine until next year. So
Right.
no way in 2022 games will be ready. We're looking at like 2023, 24.
Well, I mean,
at the earliest.
I would assume that because like one thing that they noted in this demo, or I guess some of the breakdown videos that like Digital Foundry and some other places did, is that they noted that a lot of the workload, right, like working with like the lighting and the light maps and the normal mapping and doing all this little like minute work could be like offloaded and handled by the Unreal Engine itself, right? When we saw that like illumination thing, like that was all just done like by the engine, right? Here's like your light source, and then Unreal Engine 5 just kind of takes care of it like on the fly. So if there's a bunch of those things in the game where it's like, look, we will handle it for you, just give us the source and the whatever else, the intensity, a couple of sliders here and there, and then boom, like they take care of that bit. Maybe it would save some time. I don't know.
Well, don't get too excited because all these tech demos. I mean, remember you remember the demo from like 2012, 2011, right? That was 1313, right? That looked amazing.
Star Wars 1313, yeah. Well, there's like a ton of stuff. It happened with the original. Yeah, it happened the original Gears of War. Like that was a game that came out, but they had stuff in there that they had to rip out. You look at a lot of like the old PS3 demos that were there, what like Heavenly Sword and Genji look like, and it was like, they're obviously the demos always look great because they have time and it's there's no gameplay input, like it is real time, but there's really a lot going on.
So I think Sony strategically did this, because look, Microsoft and Sony have been taking shots at each other.
Yeah,
this whole time, right?
Yeah.
And it's just good for us because it's something to talk about. And I like the old console wars, right? With it is
alive and well.
Yeah. So I think with the disappointment of the Inside Xbox and the quote unquote gameplay showcase of next gen, right? That didn't really live up to expectations. I think Sony reached out to Epic and said, "Hey, remember that demo you had? Why don't you release that?" Right, and you got to say it's on PS5. You got to say the code. Say the code's PS5 code. This is what you got to brand it us.
Well, I'm sure I'm sure they did a behind the scenes deal to say, hey, let's go ahead and make this happen.
Yeah.
And then good move
Phil
on their
Spencer
part.
Phil Spencer did tweet after this that can't wait for Unreal Engine 5 games on the Xbox. To let everyone know this is not real, this is branding, but this is going to be on the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, right. When looking at it, like Epic doesn't care. Epic will put their game out on every damn platform known to man, right? They'll put it on their Epic platform. They'll put it on Microsoft, Sony's, and Nintendo's console. But and also like. Sony takes this approach with it, right? We still haven't seen any games yet. That's the other thing to like kind of note.
Not yet, but we're not finished with this generation, and it's games that we haven't seen that's still coming out for just this generation. But Sony fixed that. They rectify that. Last week, they showed off a state of play, 18 minutes of gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, okay. The last big AAA title for this generation. The last exclusive AAA title.
And I thought I was on the fence. Like I was curious about this game, but I am super psyched for this game now.
Yeah.
You're in Japan. You can play like as a samurai, where you're cutting people's limbs off. It looks a little Dark Souls-ish, the combat when you're a samurai looks a little Dark Souls-ish, right? You got to really have precise moves and all melee.
That. Yeah. It is very.
Or you can go ghost, and you can use fear. You can go in stealth and use fear, and people will be scared of you and run away. I
mean, I think it definitely fits. I think both of those things definitely fit the atmosphere of the game, right? It's very much like a old school feudal Japan style. And, samurai swordplay is kind of very tactical. You have to know when to, like, move in. It's, one strike and you're dead type situation. I feel like all that's going on here. Is that going to pull your hair out a little bit? Maybe. I feel the difficulty maybe a little bit on the harder side.
Well, we'll see. The thing that people really liked was there's no like you got to go here, you got to go here, you got to go here, right? You can walk and go anywhere you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can tackle and free any type of village, on your own. There's no linear path, and the wind will take you, right? The way the wind blows, it will push you in that direction.
Yeah.
Or animals, right?
Also a very Japanese thing, yeah.
Animals, right? Like you can follow a fox. I wonder I wonder what other game has a fox. You can follow a fox, and the fox will take you to like sort of like side quests, right? So you have to pay attention to your environment, and the environment will lead you to different battles, right? It'll lead you on a map.
It's a very unique way to handle that. And it works, right? It's a great gameplay device that fits in with the tone of the world. Like it just makes sense. I also thought it was kind of cool that they included the old school film grain filter, and you can also have Japanese text with like the English subtitles to get the full-on experience, right? The full-on samurai flick experience from back in the day.
Well, they actually, you can have everything in Japanese with English subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
But when they were voicing everything in English, it looked like the lips were moving towards the English, English speaking. So if it's kind of curious to see when they're speaking Japanese, will the mouth movement fit the language?
Oh, I highly doubt they're gonna do 2 sets of mouth animations based on the language. I don't even think there's a game out there that does that. Can you name me a game that does that?
If you're out there and you're screaming at your computer or your phone, and you're like screaming like 10 games that do it, at us and tell Dave what games actually do that. That would be interesting to see. What other games would do that?
I will bet you a Shake Shack bet right now that they don't, because it's a lot of work to get the
somebody's screaming at their computer right now saying Yakuza, the Yakuza games do it.
No way.
So,
the closest thing that I've seen is the Tekken series. I think starting with 5. And this is not quite that, but they would have all the characters speak in their own particular language from where they were from in the world, right? So you would have English, Japanese, French, Spanish, or whatever based on the character, and they would kind of like say their lines in their particular language, but the mouth movements would be, I believe, in that particular language. So, yeah. That's about the closest example I can give you, which is not actually that, but they just kind of localize all of the characters, which I thought was kind of neat.
So, I mean, I already got my game pre-ordered.
Yeah.
It was only the Steelbook edition anyway, right? That was the only pre-order on Amazon left, and I feel pretty good about my purchase now.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Super hyped for this game.
Right. Same.
Sony was also in the news because they sort of, jumped on what Xbox done, right? With all the Xbox Studios.
Yeah.
All right. So Sony is now branding all their studios PlayStation Studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll launch alongside the PlayStation 5, which sort of, Xbox did it with the launch of the Xbox Series X and PlayStation. Sony's doing this with the launch of PS5. I mean, this is sort of like a no-brainer, or duh. Like, why didn't both companies do this a long time ago, right?
Well, I don't know if especially Microsoft, but I don't think they necessarily had the stable of studios, of those high-quality AAA studios that they could put under one umbrella. Like looking at the Sony thing, right? Sony's got Santa Monica Studios, right? They have, I think Naughty Dog was in the mix, right? Because they do the Uncharted games.
Well, Naughty Dog is sort of like they don't own Naughty Dog, but they do.
They don't own
IP.
Naughty Dog, but I think the Uncharted games, which are
they can have
specific to
anybody. They can have anybody do. They own the IP. They can have anybody do Uncharted.
Right. So they would have. The Uncharted games would have, PlayStation Studio brand on there. They have Media Molecule and like a handful of others. So like things under their brand are, God of War, Spider-Man, Gran Turismo, right? That's Polyphony Digital, which is kind of in-house, which wasn't necessarily shown in this kind of teaser, right? But, it would kind of be under that umbrella, like heavy hitters, great development companies, all under like one umbrella. I'm with you. Why wouldn't they do it? Well,
I'm just saying this should have been sort of like a no duh situation, that they should have did this before. But they want to do this for the release of the PS5, and everybody wants to know when the PS5 is coming out.
Yes, we do.
There was actually a big rumor, or leak, if you want to call it that this Sony was releasing PS5 in October,
right?
Which is kind of early,
it's very early.
Release the system. Sony vehemently denies this. It's not being released in October. I would say, I know I was thinking that they would do it in December, sort of like as a December release, right? I think Microsoft is going to release the Xbox first, before the PS5.
Yes, I agree, and here's why I think that, because Halo Infinite is a launch title for this Xbox Series X, right? Halo, the original Halo game, was a launch title for the original Xbox, which that system launched on November 15th, 2001. I would bet, I would make a Shake Shack bet that the Xbox Series X will launch on November 15th, just to get into the news cycle and to say like, hey, we're doing it like we did way back in the day. We got Halo coming out, right? Because November 15th, 2007 is when they launched Halo 3, specifically on the day that the original Halo launched, right? So they have some precedent for that. I would assume...
Oh my God, you're going to see the montages of the original Xbox and the original Halo, and now this is the new Xbox.
Oh my God.
The new Halo.
Yes, of course. They're going to do a great trailer for it, and everyone's going to be super hyped. I would guess that the PlayStation would launch on December 3rd. Now, you may ask Dan, what significance does that day have? Well, that was the launch of the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, in Japan. They had it on December 3rd. So I think they want to get in the news cycle and do something cool.
On a Thursday.
Sure.
Well, November 15th is a Sunday. So I doubt they're going to release it November 15th.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Anything is possible nowadays with the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I put a Shake Shack bet they're not going to release a game console on a Sunday. Maybe I would say maybe that make the 19th or the 20th that week. That doesn't make as much of a splash as we're doing it like we did back in the day. Yeah, I don't think it'll be released that week. I think you're right about that, right? Because it's sort of they get that week out the way, and then because Thanksgiving is going to come up next. So Thanksgiving will be the following week. So I think they want to get it out the way. So totally agree with you on that. November 3rd is makes a little bit more sense. I mean, it's a Thursday. I think maybe December 4th. for the PS5. I definitely think Xbox is going to be in November. PlayStation is going to be in December.
Yeah. I mean, there was kind of rumors about PlayStation doing that, and I'm with you.
Well, speaking about rumors, the big rumor was, I think we talked about it last week, that we're going to get first-party gameplay, hopefully gameplay, where they're going to show first-party games. Xbox will show first-party games in July. Sort of have, they have their Xbox 2020, right? Where they're going to, sort of every month for a couple, for like the next couple of months, show something, right? And I think they'll have an Inside Xbox in June, where I think we'll get the price and we'll get the box and all the other features that we don't know that's going to be a part of it, and see the UI. In July, the rumor was we'll get, sort of first-party games. 343 has confirmed that Halo Infinite will be showing off. Gameplay will be showing off in July.
Yeah.
Giving credence to that rumor that July is when we're going to see gameplay from all the Xbox studios.
It's not surprising. It's one of the other games that we're going to see during that time, right? I think Halo is going to be the big crown jewel. It's going to get the most amount of time. I assume it would be at the end of the conference, right?
No, I think it'll be first.
You think it's going to be first? Like out the gate, boom, Master Chief?
They're gonna kick it off with a splash, and then end it with something that we didn't even think of.
Maybe. I mean, it's pretty certain that they're going to do a Forza game, right? That'll probably be a launch title too. Maybe they'll have a Fusion Frenzy 3, right? You never know. They showed it off. They showed it off in that Digital Foundry video, right? They showed off the original one running with like the hardware ray tracing or whatever.
So no, I think
or HDR. Yeah.
I think we get a good glimpse of at least 4 or 5 games, right? Of actual gameplay of 4 or 5 games to be excited about, and we'll see like logo trailers for another like 3 or 4 games for games in development, not coming out anytime soon, probably, right?
Now, here's a question. Do you think that any of the 12 acquired, or at least 12, maybe even more now, studios that Microsoft acquired will have anything to show during this presentation?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, look, we already know about Psychonauts 2, right?
That's right.
And they are a first-party studio, even though this game will be it's coming out on the PS4. I think they're going to have something on there. Yeah, but it's still a first-party studio, so they will have that in the same trailer. Hey, there's a new trailer for Psychonauts 2 that's coming out later, probably this year, right? So we'll definitely see things from certain studios. Oblivion probably won't have anything to show other than maybe something else from Bleeding Edge, right?
Yeah,
Grounded.
That's been a little bit dormant, all right?
Yeah. Oh well, that came out to little fanfare.
Oh,
right?
did it? Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that came out. Whoops.
That came out, I think, in April.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I guess like Animal Crossing and everything else is kind of enveloped.
Resident Evil 3 and
Resident Evil 3, sure.
Doom Eternal all overshadowed it.
That's a shame.
We'll see like Grounded, maybe DLC or no, we'll see something. I mean, Grounded is like an early access, right? And if you're like an Xbox first, right? Just like We Happy Few was. I think we'll see something from a handful of them. Definitely not all 12.
Right.
Speaking about rumors coming true, there was a big Nintendo rumor we talked about like 2 months ago, maybe not even 2 months, last month, maybe like two or 3 episodes ago, where we said we were getting not brand new, we're going to get a bunch of Mario games remastered in a collection later this year. The rumor also said that there would be a new Paper Mario game out, and Metroid Prime Trilogy. We're both coming out this year. And you know what? 1 out of 3 is correct, because Nintendo just released a trailer just out of nowhere, not even a direct, just a trailer. New Paper Mario game.
The
It's coming out
Origami King?
in July, the same day as Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It's Paper Mario is all about everything is paper. It gets folded, moves around, right? They really kind of play into that. It's a great franchise. Now they're introducing origami into the mix, so you see like the Origami Peach, which I thought was like kind of cool, and they have all the same humor, lots of like crazy puns I'm sold then. I don't know about you.
Yeah, but who is the Origami King? Is it
Well,
a new character, a new villain? Is it Bowser? Because it looked like Bowser is all folded up into like a little folder.
yeah, right. I
And
don't
like
know.
this evil
I don't
figure
know.
that's hovering over it. I don't know.
'Cause I don't think he's always been the villain of every Paper Mario game. Not entirely sure on that. So, but he could certainly slot in somebody else. Sure.
But the biggest news isn't that the game's coming out. Is what happened after the trailer. Paper Mario put on a Samus helmet, a big Samus helmet. He's just running around, and he's just like twirling around and
Yeah, it was cute. It was cute.
And they were
It was
like,
very
"What
cute.
is he doing? Is he playing games? Like, is he
Yeah, it was very
playing
cute.
something?" So that leads me to say that we're gonna get a trailer for the Metroid Prime trilogy because it's coming out. Because Metroid is coming out, baby. It is. I'm telling you.
Wow. Wait a
telling
minute.
you.
Wait a minute. I didn't even think about that. I just thought it was cute. You think that's the teaser for Metroid Prime Trilogy?
I think that's the teaser. Look, if they were doing E3, right? Because by all accounts, they're not doing a June, like a E3 June direct because this whole stay-at-home thing isn't really working out over there. Like they're a little disorganized and they're trying to put something together.
Right.
And we talked about that, right? That they'll probably have a sort of a E3 style direct later on, like July, August.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we would have nothing, the zombie apocalypse didn't happen. We had E3. I think we would have got a direct where we would have saw at the end Paper Mario coming out in July next month because this would have been June, and at the end he would have been running around with the Samus helmet, and they would have said, "Oh yeah, wait, one more thing," and then we got the Metroid trilogy announcement. But I think they're waiting on that because they're like, why are we going to wait to June when we're not having an E3 direct yet? We can just announce this game now to get hyped for it
because they don't have anything, right? They don't have anything, and this game is coming out like in July, I think. So yeah, July 17th is the launch date. So yeah, I mean, they want to get in the news cycle. They want to let everybody know, hey, we have more than Animal Crossing this year. We have this great new thing, and here it is. I think maybe you're right. Maybe they would have kicked the presentation off with this game, and then with kind of the Metroid tease at the beginning of the presentation. At the end of the presentation, Metroid Prime Remaster Trilogy, and here it is. And then they have that video. Like I could see that. I hope you're not reading into it too much, because I just kind of passed it off as like, oh, it's cute, But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense.
They could have had something else. He could have just been running around jumping on Goombas. I mean, why Samus helmet?
Yeah, why specifically the Samus helmet? I don't know.
All right, that's the game that's coming out, and the game that I think is coming out. Let's get into some more game announcements, as this is sort of the E3 season right now.
Yep.
Right? Since we don't have an E3, everything's just sort of leaking out
along,
in May.
baby.
Right? We got an announcement for sort of Mafia Trilogy, right? Well, the actual announcement for Mafia Trilogy comes out when we drop the podcast.
Right.
So if you're listening to this, you probably already know Mafia Trilogy is out.
All right.
But they announced Mafia, the definitive edition, coming in August. This is the first Mafia game, and it's sort of remade. Not just given a new coat of paint, it's remade from the ground up, and it looks beautiful because the original game is what, 2001, 2002 for the PS2,
early
the
2000s
PS2 consoles.
Early
Yeah.
2000s was the first one, and it was a great game. It was really cool. Like 1930s, 1940s Mafia, right? It feels like what the Scarface game should have been, right? Like real kind of Italian Mafia deep into it.
I just, I want to know if this can come out on the Switch, though. They said nothing about the Switch. It was all next, it was all, Xbox, PlayStation, PC.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Stadia tried to get in the mix with this, right? It would be funny.
Sure.
6 months from now, if we get a Stadia Connect, and it's like, guess what? We have Mafia. And everyone's like, yeah, but we're already playing it everywhere else. You're always late to the party, Stadia.
Yeah, right.
Always late to the party.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you ever play the original Mafia at all?
No, I haven't played it. I watched my friend play it back in the day. I own it.
Okay.
I do own it. I got it on a PS2.
Yeah.
but I've never played it yet.
Console ports were a little rough. 1 and 2, not so great. Much better on the PC. And I'm not trying to put down the consoles, but they weren't great ports. The PC versions were fantastic, and 3 visually looked amazing, but didn't quite get the numbers and the review scores. So
3 was pretty good. I just couldn't at the time. I couldn't get into it. I forgot what it was. Another game I was really
a lot of
really
things
into
coming out. I think that was 2018, so it was a big
Yeah.
year. May have been like God of War time. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, also speaking about new games, getting a fresh coat of paint coming back out. Everything old is new again, and that is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 getting remasters.
Oh my God!
Confirmed.
Amazing.
Also, Jeff Keighley, Summer Games Fest.
Right.
Exclusive.
Right. Now,
unfortunately, not coming to the Switch though.
Yeah, I don't think there's any Tony Hawk games on the Switch. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any on the Switch. There was a couple on the Wii. I think Downhill Jam maybe and Tony Hawk Ride. They had a Wii ports, which were not great, but it'd be perfect on the go, right?
Oh yeah. No, but from a visual standpoint, it looked amazing. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like PS4, Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to look this good on the Switch.
No, they end up porting it down. Do you know that they already did a Tony Hawk 1 HD remaster?
No.
This would be the second one. Yeah, it came out like 2012 or 13 maybe. It was good. It was good. It was a good port for sure. But yeah, this is like the second HD, which now has 1 and 2, which for my money 2 is the best. I don't know if you ever played the old school ones, but Tony Hawk 2 was legit.
I played Tony Hawk 1. I played the original Tony Hawk.
Also classic, yeah.
At a friend's house. I wasn't a big skateboarder back in the day, but I had a friend who was a skateboarder.
Same.
And just to answer your earlier question, there were 4 Tony Hawk games on the Wii. Tony Hawk Ride, Tony Hawk Downhill Jam, Tony Hawk Shred, and Tony Hawk Proving Ground.
Oh, yeah. Oof. Proving Ground was okay. Shred, I'm not too sure. I don't really remember Shred.
I don't think Shred is that good of a game. You can still pick it up for $2 on Lukey.
Hey, that's a $2 steal. That could be a hidden gem, Dan.
There you go. We have a new Metal Jesus over here.
That's right. Listen. Head over to our Rated G channel. You can see my top 10 Wii hidden gem video. All right, there's some good stuff in there.
And all 4 of the Tony Hawk games will be on there.
Listen, I got them all in my collection.
So, I mean, look, Jeff Keighley got a steal. He got the epic PS5 demo, right? Mm-hmm. He got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to see what else he brings out. He doesn't have a schedule for this. So, I guess it's sort of going to be randomized, like every week or every other week we'll hear something from him. He'll have like 1 or 2 announcements, so definitely looking forward to that.
Sure.
I'm also looking forward to Ubisoft, because Ubisoft officially announced that they're going to be Ubisoft Forward, which will be an all digital event in July. It looks like a lot of people are going in July, not June.
Well, I think it's given them a little more time to retool their presentations, right?
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it, because where else am I going to care where the next Just Dance game is that's going to come out on the Wii?
Yeah, you have to buy the last official release for the Wii, because it's going to skyrocket in money, right?
Who knows? I just want to say, I got that last Wii game. I got all the Just Dance games.
I don't think
the 2020s.
I don't think they're ever going to stop making Just Dance games for the Wii.
It's just so easy to port, but they stopped for the Wii U though.
Well, because they don't have to put it on the Wii U because the Wii games work.
They don't have the install base, and the Wii U is backwards. The Wii is can be played on the Wii U.
Right, so. Right. Be the same game.
All right, I want to end on this note. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Evo 2020 was officially canceled. No surprise, right? And I joked about it. I said, well, they just have it online. But of course, they couldn't really have it online because some people may not have great internet compared to others. And that would be sort of an unfair advantage.
100%, yeah.
So
You want no lag.
So Evo's championship series is canceled, but there will be Evo Expedition games online this year, starting in July. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, I said this was a no-brainer. Like, you could still have something, right, online. Unfortunately, Smash Brothers Ultimate won't be a part of the lineup.
Wow, that's I wonder why.
But they got new games part of the lineup. They got Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, Skullgirls Second Encore, and Them Fighting Herds. I've never heard of that game.
I know Skullgirls. It's apparently a pretty good fighting game. Obviously, we know Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct. I think they may have gone with games that are a little bit more lax in their button inputs and not as precise. Because looking at what they were going to have originally with, Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Soul Calibur 6, Samurai Showdown, those are the heavy hitters, right? Those are like top tier. Mortal Kombat is great and all, but maybe it lends itself a little better to online play. So I don't know.
So Them Fighting Herds is a game.
Tell me about this game, Dad.
Is a game about fighting ponies.
Really?
It looks like we always joke about Barbie's Play Palace.
Yeah, right.
But this looks like
Oh, I'm looking at pictures there straight up. There's some My Little Pony action. There's some hardcore bronies going on right here. Wow. Yeah. You know what this kind of reminds me of? You remember Brutal Paws of Fury?
Oh yeah, that's right.
The animals that fight.
Wow. But look, it's good to know that they're gonna still have something online. I wonder if they're gonna be where you can sort of like a Twitch stream where you have the camera on you, and hopefully you have good internet and they pair people up, and it's just expedition. So no one's fighting in a tournament. No one's gonna be Evo Champion 2020 or anything like that.
Right.
Which is fair, right? It's fair. That makes sense, right? So it's just going to be straight expedition for fun. And it gives you something to do and watch in July.
Yeah, right. July's going to be a packed month, man. That's going to be crazy.
July's going to be the new E3.
Yeah.
The new E3 time, right? Everyone's going to talk about they want to do it in July.
Yeah. So, well, I guess that about does it. That is episode 219 in the books, folks. And before we go, we just want to let everybody know that we do have a new podcast, Saturday Morning Retro, that just came out. So go
monthly
on over.
Podcast.
We're going to be doing it once a month, right? We're going to do it once a month. We're going to have some special guests and this and that. It's really going to be a good time. We're very excited to throw it out there in the world. So go take a listen. All you got to do is, if you're already subscribed, you're good. You should have it. So go ahead and listen. Why haven't you listened yet? And if you want to interact with us, and we know you guys do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. And also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all the fine podcasts featured on there if you're looking for more gaming goodness at gamingpodcastalliance.com. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.